Hey guys, good morning. Welcome back to our channel, the Eaton Squad. This is Addie. So on today's video is the possible shorter quarantine period for fully vaccinated traveler coming to the Philippines. Details coming right up. So in our past video, we have been talking about the Green Lane program for foreign tourists, for fully vaccinated traveler coming to the Philippines and all that stuff. So yesterday, Tourism Secretary has an interview with the CNN and laid out all the details on what they are doing, on what the work in progress already on this proposal of Green Lane program for fully vaccinated traveler to the Philippines. So before I will read the text and show you the clip of her interview, I wanted to clarify something because when I posted that good news that the Philippine government is formulating an arrival protocol for fully vaccinated travelers to the Philippines, some get confused that it's still useless because they still have to go through the 10 days mandatory quarantine. The 10 days mandatory quarantine is the current quarantine protocols in the Philippines. That is not the quarantine protocol on what they are working on, which is the Green Lane program for foreign tourists. So we don't really have a guidelines to that yet on what will be the arrival protocol for them, what will be the quarantine protocol for them. So unless that gets approved and that gets implemented, we will not know what will be the guidelines for it to all fully vaccinated inbound travelers to the Philippines. So I just want to clarify that because there has been a confusion on that video. So the 14 days or the 10-day stay in a hotel for quarantine is the current arrival and quarantine protocols to the Philippines. What the DOT or the Department of Tourism proposed to the IATF for Green Lane program, or that the Philippine government is now formulating the arrival protocol for fully vaccinated inbound travelers, that doesn't really have a guideline yet for arrival and quarantine protocols. So I hope that is clear to everyone. So let's all watch the interview with Secretary Puyat of the Department of Tourism on the details of what they are doing with this Green Lane program, what they are trying to propose or what they are trying to work out in order to reopen the Philippines for tourism once more.
The Tourism Department has proposed to the government to set up a green lane to facilitate the entry of foreign visitors who have completed their COVID-19 vaccination. The agency says the green lane will pave the way for the reopening of our tourist destinations to leisure travelers who are now fully vaccinated. It will also give the jobs back to many of our tourism workers and gradually revive the tourism industry under safe conditions. Let's go straight to the source of the story. We have Tourism Secretary Berna Romulo Puyat. Secretary, welcome to the source and it's good to have you again.
Yes, good morning, Pinky, and good morning to everybody watching the source.
So let's start with this. The recommendation you're considering, rather the DOT is considering, allowing fully vaccinated foreigners to actually enter the country. Where are you now in this discussion?
We're still going to be discussing, okay, this was proposed by the Department of Tourism last Thursday during the IATF. We will be discussing this with other agencies tomorrow. We're asking because we've been monitoring other countries, specifically other Asian countries. Like in Thailand, if you're fully vaccinated, it's down from 10 days to 7 quarantine days for fully vaccinated. in Hong Kong, it's also down from 21 days also to 7 days for fully vaccinated, but coming from certain countries. So we were thinking that, if other countries are already doing it, it should be discussed. Also should be discussed with of course, the Department of Health, the health experts, because they are fully vaccinated. Kasi ngayon, Karen, whether you're fully vaccinated or not, it's 10 days in a hotel, and then another 4 days
Right.
at home. And for
Right.
our balikbayans, for our OFWs, masakit sa like for example, our balikbayans coming home, masakit sa bulsa ang 10 araw. Fully vaccinated. So kami naman sa Department of Tourism, we're looking at exploratory lang naman because other countries are already doing it. So, and so to explore na to reduce, hindi naman tanggalin, to reduce the quarantine day.
It's actually good that she mentioned the financial burden to all our kababayans going home to the Philippines and go through this long quarantine period for the arrival and quarantine protocol. And I really hope they realize that it's no joke to go home to the Philippines because of all the expenses that you have to go through and because of all the money that you have spent when you plan to go home to the Philippines during the time of the pandemic.
I see. So that's actually what I wanted to find out. There are two components here, no, Sec Berna. One is, as you mentioned, the OFWs, and the other is tourists. So balikan ko lang po muna yung mga tourists that you're considering right now. I wanted to ask about the guidelines. It's good that you mentioned that that is the protocol now in Hong Kong and even in Thailand, you said. So malinaw, Sec Berna, na pag umuwi dito at fully vaccinated, meron pa rin quarantine.
Yes, meron pa rin. Right now, may quarantine pa of 10 days in a hotel,
Yes.
and another 4 days at home. So that's whether you're fully vaccinated or not. So we've been monitoring other countries, and for them, pag fully vaccinated, especially in Thailand, it's reduced to 7 quarantine days.
Yes. So basically, what you're thinking nga po, Sec, is that ang pwedeng mangyari, meron pa rin quarantine, pero mas magiging mas maiksi. Hindi na po yung 10 days sa hotel and 4 days sa bahay.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Oo, parang
And that-
babawasan
and-
lang. Yes.
Opo. And that is both for foreigners and OFWs as well.
Yes.
So,
For all returning OFWs, OFs, and of course balikbayans. Kasi right now only balikbayans are allowed.
tama. Important also, Sec Berna, are you looking into also considering saang bansa manggagaling, whether foreigners or balikbayans?
It's still going to be, right now we're only accepting kasi returning Filipinos, OFWs, and of course balikbayans lang ang allowed. So of course this is going to be like for example in Thailand, basta fully vaccinated from all countries pwede. But in Hong Kong, certain countries, low risk countries. So I guess this will be discussed
I
in
see.
detail, especially with the DOH and the health experts.
Understand. Yung vaccine brand, Sec Berna, would that also matter, you think? Or kahit na
again-
anong bakuna?
Again, this will be discussed tomorrow. Kung
Okay.
yes.
It's positive news though, of course. Definitely, as you mentioned a while ago, yung mga balikbayans po iiksi, kung if approved iiksi po
Yes.
yung kanilang quarantine. And then the other one is OFWs will be, foreign tourists will be allowed, if approved, to enter the country to spur the tourism
Yes.
industry.
Oo. Also, it's also for everybody, even our OFWs. Nakakaawa kasi, di ba, when they come home, di ba, they want to spend time now with their family. Same with balikbayans. And then, 10 araw, nasa hotel sila, di ba? That's already time na spent with their family. At masakit sa bulsa. Kasi, Pinky, every day, a lot of people I don't know text me, lalo na mga OFWs. And then, gustong-gusto na nila to spend time with their family. Pero yun na nga 10 araw sila, fully vaccinated naman sila. But of course, these are all exploratory. But I'm hoping kasi other countries are already doing it na pumayag ang ating other agencies, especially the DOH, sa 7 days. But you know, in other countries naman, like for example in Thailand, their target is, I think, by July. In Phuket, they want to vaccinate, let's say, 70% of the tourist destination. Kunyari, mas marami ng fully vaccinated, they are already thinking of removing naman the quarantine. But of course, that's why I'm also watching what they're going to do. So kunyari, they're accepting fully vaccinated, tapos the tourist destination also is fully vaccinated, mawawala naman yung quarantine. But of course, that's still in the medium term. We're now thinking muna of the short term. Kasi we're not naman, we're only about 4%. Yeah, 4%. But at least nagsimula na, di ba, slowly nababawasan yung quarantine days.
And it's good nga po that this is something that is being considered right now because you're right, that's a question of a number of people who say, if fully vaccinated na ako, galing abroad, they were fully vaccinated, and then they don't understand to some why they would have to be quarantined for 10 days plus 4.
So what she's really trying to say on that interview is really good, but I'm just hoping this gets approved and this gets implemented and nobody's going to oppose to it and stuff like that, because as you can see, the Department of Tourism is doing everything they can to reopen the economy again for foreign tourists coming to the Philippines. And I'm really hoping that this would succeed and this would get approved and they would release a new guideline for arrival and quarantine protocols for fully vaccinated inbound travelers to the Philippines. But please don't get too excited yet, because you know how the Philippine government works. They would have proposals like this. They are saying this and that, but in the long run, it gets denied. It's not going to be implemented. There will be a group that would contradict it. There will be a group that will deny it. There will be a group that would disagree on it. So I won't celebrate yet. For me, these are still rumors, but there is a possibility that this could get approved and this could get implemented. And I'm really hoping it's going to be on the positive side, so everybody is happy. So to those travelers who really deserve to go back to the Philippines this time, could go back and be reunited with their family and loved ones once more. So the shorter quarantine period is actually nice, especially if you are fully vaccinated already, because this would lesser your expenses when you go home to the Philippines. The 10 days quarantine in a hotel is really expensive because you are not just paying for the room rate, you are also paying for food and all that stuff for the next 10 days. And that's no joke. That's really expensive. So the shorter quarantine period for fully vaccinated is actually good, and I'm hoping it's really short, not 7 days, not 5 days, and all that stuff. So when they say shorter quarantine period for fully vaccinated traveler, I hope maximum of it is 3 days. So what do you think of these plans from the Department of Tourism on what they are working on for fully vaccinated travelers to the Philippines? I want to hear your opinion, or I want to hear your suggestion on what they should do, on how they should do it with this Green Lane program for inbound travelers who are fully vaccinated to the Philippines. So we shall see how this program will pan out. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. If you find this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends and family whom you know that can use this video as reference. If you are new to our channel, welcome. We do travel updates, and if you are not a subscriber yet, please consider subscribing and don't forget to hit that notification bell so you will be notified on updates like this. And to our subscribers and new subscribers, thank you so much for the continuous support and trust to our channel, the Eaton Squad. I hope to see you guys in our next travel update. Stay safe, stay healthy, and God bless everyone. Bye.